1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. On the phone right now, Dustin Clark, University of Maryland, assistant basketball coach. The Terrapins off to a great start this season, and next season they're going to bring in one of our own, Kevin Huerter, the Shenendehowa senior guard. And Dustin, anytime anyone watches Kevin Huerter, it's easy to say, look, that kid's really good. He's easily the best player on the floor. But the line at Division I is so thin. What separates him from just a low major Division I player to a guy who's a fit at your program, one of the top programs in the country?
Yeah, Brady, I think that's a long list when you start talking about Kev. Just in no particular order, things that we fell in love with whenever we started recruiting him was, first of all, just his skill level. He can really dribble, pass, and shoot. And then, his size for the position. He's got great size. He really thinks the game. He's got a super high IQ, and he wins. He wins. Seemingly everything, every basketball team that he's on, he wins, and heck, even other sports. It's funny, Coach Surgeon, our head coach, I think after we left the in-home visit, he was like, he's like, this kid, he's just a winner. What a great athlete. He said he's the guy that, beats you in pickup, and then, you go play golf in the afternoon, and he beats you in golf, and then you go play pool that night, and he beats you in pool. He's just a great athlete, and, obviously I think that has a lot to do with his parents. He's a great athlete, high IQ basketball player, very skilled, and good size is kind of what attracted us to him.
Obviously, we're in the middle of this season. You're not even really thinking about next season yet, but obviously the conversations get had as to what Kevin's role might be right away, and then throughout 3-4 years. Where kind of do you guys envision him in your program next year?
Yeah, well, we're expecting him to be able to come in and contribute immediately. We're going to need that from him, and that's kind of, was our message all along as we recruited him. And, Kevin's young. He's really young for his grade. He really, a lot of kids that are his age are juniors in high school, but we're not worried about that with Kevin just because of the way he approaches life and the way he approaches basketball and academics. Think he's very mature. And just think because of the preparation that Tom and Aaron and his coaches with Coach Zekas at Shin and also Jimmy Hart with City Rocks, I think all those people in his life have prepared Kevin for this opportunity to come in next year and help us, to continue to win at a high level.
Dustin, I've coached college baseball for the last 3 years, and I am a total admitted recruiting nerd. But so just curious, at the Division I level, at a level like Maryland, take me kind of through the process. When did you identify Kevin, and what were the steps that it took to go from that identification process to him signing his letter of intent?
That's what's crazy about recruiting, Brady, is everything, every recruitment is different. And, Kevin's was a unique recruitment for us because the first time I saw Kevin was last April, I guess. I think it was March or April. He was playing his last game of the year, so it was late is what I'm saying. They were playing Wings Academy there at the University of Albany. And, funny thing is I'm surprised we got Kevin because, they hadn't lost a game all year last year, and I show up and they lose the only game of the year. So I'm glad that he didn't view me and the Terps as a bad luck charm. But that was the first time that I saw him play. It was late in his junior year. A lot of guys, by that time of their career, we've identified them and have already been recruiting for a long time. But I got a tip from a good friend of mine that said, hey, there's a really good player up here in Albany that you need to come check out. And so I did, and really liked him. Really liked him the first time I watched him. And then the next game he played wasn't until AAU season in the spring with the City Rocks, and so that was the first opportunity that Coach Surgeon was able to see him. And the whole love at first sight deal, that's not only true in dating. Sometimes it works that way in recruiting. And Coach just really fell in love with him as a player. The very first time he saw him, and called and offered him a scholarship after that weekend. They were playing a tournament in Virginia, and that's really what jump started the recruitment. And then we just went through the spring. Building a relationship with Kevin and his family, his whole family, Thomas and Jillian and Megan. Tom and Aaron, and then went through July, watched him play again in July. He actually Tom and Kevin actually stopped and made an unofficial visit in August after they were playing in a baseball tournament in Richmond. And then from there, they came for their official visit. The family did come for the official visit in September, and we just had an unbelievable visit. It just felt like the best visits, Brady, are the visits that don't feel like work. It feels like family. It feels like you're spending 48 hours with family and just hanging out. And Kevin really got a great feel for our players. We try to recruit character first, and we got a great group of guys in our locker room. And I think Kevin felt like he would really fit in. And they were kids of like mind. And so we had a great visit. And I believe it was the next day he called the coach and told him that he wanted to be a Terp.
So the first time you saw him play was during the Federation Tournament, which is after Shen wins the state championship, and then you see him a bunch in AAU. What's the breakdown like in your recruiting? How important is the actual high school season in recruiting, or is it 95% about the AAU season where you find guys and are able to start really going after them?
No, both are very important. We love seeing kids in different environments, on different teams with different teammates, respond to different coaching. Both are very important. The main difference, is that kids play 2 high school games a week, but in one weekend, in 2 days in an AAU tournament, you can see them play 6 games. So it's just you get to see more reps, if you will, in an AAU setting, just because they play so many more games in such a short amount of time.
Dustin, I'll get you out of here on this. You mentioned Kevin's father, Tom Huerter, who we know locally here, played at Siena. Kevin's brother, Thomas Jr., also going to Siena next year after spending this season at prep school. And Jimmy Patsos, who's the Siena head coach, has some Maryland roots as well. And he's made the comment I've heard, is there a possibility we get a Siena-Maryland Huerter versus Huerter game at some point in the next 4 years?
I tell you what, the program that Jimmy's got, and the players and the success that he's always had everywhere he's been, I don't know. It might be a little more than we're bargaining for.
Well, that is certainly something that we in the Capital Region would love to see. We'd love to see the Huerters go against each other, Siena versus Maryland. That's something we want to see happen, Coach. Dustin Clark, assistant coach at Maryland. They're getting Kevin Huerter, the Shenendehowa standout, next season to join their program. They're off to a great start this year. We'll certainly see them in March. Dustin, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Brady.